Greetings, this is the Evening Run. A pleasure always. Your host, Denobi2.
Hello, everybody. Hello, folks. Welcome to a short, quick live stream on the TOMY Enterprise that was announced last week. It was actually announced, I think the news broke out, what was it, Wednesday or Thursday? And I was kind of a little bit late to the game as far as getting on the hype wagon regarding it, even though I actually knew that TOMY Enterprise, well, TOMY Plus, the brand company division that handles their campaigns and fundraisers and sort, they actually had reached out to me, like I learned from other YouTubers, early June. It was probably around June 3rd or 4th, and it was their independent third-party marketing company that had reached out to me, and they had a couple questions, and they had wanted to use my video on the TOMY Enterprise unboxing review that I had done, and it was a huge shocker. It was mind-blowing because I think I was the first person that they had contacted, because I won't mention her name, but she had, once this third-party company had reached out to me, I reached out to my contact at TOMY, Chris, part of marketing. I've actually had him on my live stream multiple times. We talked about, I helped promote the TOS Diecast Enterprise, and I also had him back again for the TOMY DeLorean, the 1/12 scale DeLorean that they're working on. That's their follow-up campaign after the TOS Enterprise that was backed. And it was such a huge shocker to me. It was such a huge shocker that I honestly, when I had received my TOS Diecast Enterprise, I had just assumed that they weren't going to pursue another campaign regarding Star Trek and the actual ships. Hello, what's up, Revenge of the Six? I like that. What's going on? Thank you for checking in. And it was when they reached out to me and they told me, I mean, talk about having a little bit of insight and information here. I had no idea. I had no idea that they had still planned on continuing the actual Starship series. And the reason why I'm a little bit shocked was because I felt that because they had a few hiccups with the TOS, they missed the ball on a couple things. They missed the ball on the seamless part of the saucer, couple like exposed joints and like screw ports and things like that. And honestly, when they were providing the updates, I believe a few backers, they were even, because they weren't able to, during their R&D production of the TOS Enterprise, they felt that they had dropped the ball. So they had actually given a lot of the backers an escape clause, essentially giving them the ability to back out and receive a refund. And those who stuck from the start to the very end, they ended up receiving a work of art. I mean, I got to tell you something, folks. This thing is such a work of art, and I decided to kind of bring it in. I'm going to put it in solo mode right now, and I'm going to activate it. This is that's it right there. It's right there behind me. Got the second camera going up, and I got to tell you, they knocked it out of the park and then some. Even though the marketing and engineering team felt like they may have dropped the ball, and they gave a few of the backers an escape clause. And I'm like, you have, I've always learned, because this TOS campaign is not my first rodeo. I've backed multiple campaigns, and I've always been impressed. It's always been something that's gone above and beyond when it comes to these type of campaigns. And I was overwhelmed by the actual product. How much was that ship? The TOS right here, the one that's on my second camera, this one retailed for $5.99, and I believe they offered free shipping at the time. And I'm going to turn it around here. I'm backing away from the camera, but you can kind of see that this thing just under 4K blast just looks gorgeous. I mean, this is incredible. This thing is just, yeah, I'm just kind of scooting back there, but you can kind of see it right behind me, right there. You can, that's it right there. I have the second camera zoomed in on it right now, but so I reached out to Chris, and Chris from TOMY was like, you have to keep this a secret. We're not ready to go out. We'll be going out in a few weeks and so forth. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sitting on insider information, because the reason I say it's insider information is because if collectors who didn't back the TOS or contemplating it, once this information was to be announced, which is announced last week, it would create a market demand on the TOS, which it did. If any of you follow eBay, recent closed auctions on this thing, it's been breaking 2,500 on average, 2,500 bucks. I was one of those collectors that bought multiples, and out of all the campaigns that I've backed in the past, this particular ship was very, very profitable. I didn't sell one less than $2,000. I did very well. I did extremely well on eBay. Yeah. So we've been gifted the opportunity of the Enterprise A. I keep saying Enterprise A, but it's the Enterprise Refit. And I posted the sign-up link. If this is something that you're interested in, on this actual live stream, there's the link. I posted in the description, so you can sign up and you can be notified. This campaign is going to go live on August the 1st. And the reason why they're going with August 1st is because that's the first day of the Star Trek Las Vegas convention. And for those of you folks who aren't aware, or just kind of watching the stream after today's broadcast, which is the 18th, I live in Vegas. I live in Las Vegas, and I was talking to Chris, and I'm probably going to interview him and grab some close-up shots. I'll bring my gear I'm assuming it's going to be held at the Rio. It's not that far from where I live, and get a little bit of an interview with him and get some close-up. I'm assuming they're going to have the prototype there on display at the convention. I'm not going to be doing all days of the convention. I'm not a big fan of the creation, the company that manages the Star Trek show. I don't like the show that they put on when it comes to the Star Trek show. I feel like the company creation that manages the Star Trek show here in Las Vegas, nickel and dimes you. They charge more for a less of an experience. And I'm used to visiting huge shows like San Diego Comic-Con, where I get a lot more value for my badge, and with the Star Trek creation show, it's not there. So if anything, I'm going to try to get in under press and interview TOMY, get some close-up shots of the prototype, get a little bit of an interview, and then hopefully I'll get that posted within that weekend, probably August 2nd or 3rd. So that I look forward to. And next week, I'll be in San Diego Comic-Con. I'll be all 4 days. So if you folks out there, if you happen to see me at San Diego, come look me up. Just Lane for showing up here, and does look good. The replica looks it just looks fantastic. That's it right there behind me. It's a live feed. But yeah, this is the Star Trek live stream, Crane. So I'm going to just restrict the questions just specifically to Star Trek. I am doing a midnight run tonight, and I'll be focusing on a lot of the Hot Toys announcements. But this stream is more of like, look, let's talk about, if you're a big Star Trek fan and you're a huge fan of the starships, I'm telling you right now, do not be punished by history. They knocked it out of the park on this. This is such a gorgeous ship. This is like I said, a live feed right behind me. And I'm going to turn it. You can kind of see my hand right here. But it's just, I'm going to show you the back of it, just like what they did. It's incredible. So it's fantastic what they were able to pull off. But again, so this is gonna retail for $700. So it's $100 more than the TOS, and I think it's 100% worth it because they've done a few little bit of it. Well, they're showing us some enhancements on here. First thing is that there's a base, and it's gonna have it's gonna be USB plugged in, and that right there is gonna be awesome because in my collection that you see in my room, I'm a USB hack fanatic. I like to have my collection come alive and so forth. So to have the ability to plug in something, all of my cases, there's outlets. There's USB outlets, regular outlets, 12 volts, and so forth. And so the fact that this TOS chip here, I can't plug it in, right? It's all battery operated, which is cool. You can get some really cool cinematic effects out of this thing, but it's just not, I can't keep it on. I love keeping my toys on all the time. It comes to life. They do a original OTS, originals office, OTS. You're going to have to help me on the abbreviation there, OTS Enterprise. TOS Enterprise, you mean the one we're looking at on the screen? This is diecast, that guy, Mark. This is a diecast. It's like 95% diecast. This thing is incredible. It's extremely heavy. It's extremely sturdy. And that's what I have right here. This is the original series Enterprise right here, Lane. So this is mine. I backed it. I was one of the backers. I backed the TOS Enterprise, and I helped promote it. I tried to warn a lot of folks out there, if you're a big Star Trek Starship collector, right? And talk about being punished by history. Look at this thing. It's just incredible how gorgeous it just, yeah. I keep going back. It's just right behind me. So, yeah, I mean, talk about being punished by history. It's selling on eBay right now for $2,500 on average. It's wild. It's wild, folks. And TOMY and TOMY Plus, they're giving you the opportunity to back the Refit, which is by far one of my favorite. This is probably right on top. This is the most popular ship. I mean, there's a handful of ships that I would want in this scale. One 350th scale, it would be the Refit or my second choice, the Enterprise A, right? The one that's seen at the Undiscovered Country. And this was one of my very first models, I think when I was 17 or 16 years old. I remember buying this model and gluing it and painting it and never getting it right. I never understood, and I remember visiting a comic book shop, and they were explaining to me that I think it was the Enterprise A plastic Ertl model or kit or something. They were telling me that it required a special type of paint, and I forgot what it was called. And then having it be reminded the iridescent paint, that flash. That's something. I'm not a painter. I'm not so much of a model maker either. If anything, my skills are probably USB hack, and I've kind of taught myself, kind of like excelled as far as electronics and so forth. And I can USB hack the TOS. This ship right here, I can absolutely plug it in. I know the voltage. I know where the battery sockets are. I know how to solder. The problem is that it would require miniature or micro drilling, and I can drill. It's never stopped me from hacking something, but because of its value, it's now scared me. I'm like, well, this thing is now trending over $2,000. And yes, I could USB hack the TOS Enterprise, but I am now very paranoid because now it's an official grail. Is the Enterprise Refit going to be a grail? Most likely. Yeah, it is. This is a highly sought out ship. This is the motion picture Enterprise Refit. It measures what, 36 inches long in length. die cast, the shuttlecraft, the navigational, and that's the thing too. It's that navigational deflector, and there is other promo shots where it glow, because to me the navigational deflector has to glow blue. So yeah, it's just I think it's going to be gorgeous, and I'm probably going to be back in multiples of this thing. It's projects like this that help fund my collection with Hot Toys and other 1/6 scale vehicles. That's the stuff that helps me get this. It takes about a year, that guy Mark. So the TOS Enterprise, this one right here, the one right behind me, this one here, this was like about 14 months. So it's slightly over a year. And it was a small batch. I forgot, maybe 6,000 units or something like that. It was very small. It was, you know what? I take it back. I think it was under 5,000 units. It was very small, because that's one of the things that helps the whole supply and demand aspect of it. It's one of the reasons too. It's trending $2,500 on eBay. They didn't make a lot of this, and the actual rules of the game have now changed. Now TOMY has announced, hey, as they're cracking their knuckles, we're going to build a collection. And shame on you for not backing the first one, but we're going to go down this path. Yeah, we're going to go down this path. It's going to be interesting. Now, if you're one of the original backers, of the TOS, they actually gave you a clue of the ships that they were passionate about. And if my signal is a little bit laggy, it's because it's been, I live in a desert, and it's been raining all day and windy and stormy, and the internet has just been wonky. But anyway, they gave us a clue. If you backed the original TOS, they sent out a survey. And let's see if I can pull it up here. And they asked you, which of your favorite ships would you like to see backed up next? And I remember that, I don't know if if the results were shared, but we did vote. They asked you, which of the 4 ships would you be interested in? And I voted Enterprise Refit, the motion picture. Yeah. This survey was sent only to the backers of the TOS, and they asked you. I honestly thought that it would have been the Enterprise D from Next Generation. I shit you not, folks. I really thought it was going to be the Enterprise D. Yeah, I really did. But they gave you the hint. I mean, they told you. And this was a survey in 2022, and come 2024, right? The following campaign, they went into the DeLorean, and most of us, including me, we thought they were done with the ships. We thought, because they had experienced hiccups in manufacturing the TOS Enterprise, right? They promised all of these things seamless and all this stuff that they weren't able to deliver. Not to mention, they gave an escape clause. They gave some backers. I stuck to ground. I'm like, you know what? TOMY is a leader in die-cast manufacturing for 80-something years. It's an old company. TOMY's a very old company. Now, looking at this survey, I would love for them to back the Klingon battle cruiser or the Enterprise D. The one ship I don't see on there that I'm just really shocked that's not on there is the Klingon murder prey. The one that's seen by the one that's captained by Chang in Undiscovered Country. I would love that one. I would love to own that one. I really would. This is a little side profile up here of the ship. This thing is going to be huge, folks. This is 36 inches in length. This is going to be incredible. And I honestly, I think it's going to be, another Grail. They're giving you the shuttlecraft, the glow and impulse drive, the USB base with spotlight, cord not included, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I have tons of USB. I mean, right underneath my feet, I have USB cords right here. So to me, that's not an issue. If anybody's complaining about that, I can't see that being an issue. And I love these promo shots. I just like this one, this shot right here of the lady right behind it. I mean, it gives you a sense of scope. Like this thing is going to be grand. Now, when you're doing these type of campaigns, they do collect the money up front, right? That's risk is part of the game, as Captain Kirk would say. Risk is part of the game, and they do collect it. So when you $6.99, you collect it. They collect it up front. There's no when they're ready to deliver, they don't do 10%. It's you commit. You commit. But again, that's part of the reward though, because a lot of folks don't like resellers and flippers, but I'm the one forking up the money. I'm the one taking the risk. I'm the one that they grab my $2,000 and they sit on it for about a year. And so when they deliver the products, right? Patience, reward is given to those who are patient. I mean, it's one of the best things I've done. I love taking risks I like risking it when it comes to specific campaigns, toy campaigns like this that have that's not infinite. There's a finite amount being manufactured, and that's what helps keep it very limited. It keeps that grail status and so forth. I think it's fantastic. I'm blown away by it. Now, something that I discovered, for those of you who were probably collecting the Star Trek Diamond Select ships back in the day, they made several of the Klingon bird of preys, right? They made one that has General Chang in it. Kirk, do you see me? And so forth, right? I took measurements. I went to the LCAR's Wikipedia and I took measurements because I suspected that the Diamond Select bird of prey was 1 3/50th scale. I did the measurements. You take 1 3/50th and you divide it and so forth. And it turns out that the Diamond Select bird of prey is very awfully close to the 1 3/50th scale to the Enterprise refit. So what that means is that if you want an Enterprise refit battle scenario setup with a Diamond Select bird of prey, it's going to look really good. In fact, I want to say that the Diamond Select bird of prey should be just half an inch or slightly less than half an inch, a little bit bigger. But to me, that's passable. The fact that it is. And I'm going to show you here. I'm going to kind of get up here and show you because I actually have my Diamond Select bird of prey. So I'm going to see if I can. I'm activating it right now so I can zoom in on the camera if you're wondering what's going on. All right, here we go. So I'm getting up. I'm going to show you. There it is. I'm going to pull back. So that is the Diamond Select. I got to focus it on here, but yeah. That right there. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. The Diamond Select bird of prey holds its ground. This is consider this is a what 12, 13-year-old toy. I think I got this in 2011 or 12. This was right before I started collecting. This was right before I started collecting Hot Toys. I think I got this. This is right like in the early days. And Diamond Select, they really, really knocked it out of the park on this guy right here. And the fact that this bird of prey is very eerily close to the 1 3/50th scale of the Enterprise refit. Yeah. So now I have bad news though, because they haven't made this in over a decade. Unfortunately, this toy is still somewhat very expensive on eBay. I think if I'm brand new, it can go for $200. Used out of packaging, and maybe the base missing, you can get it for under $100. But that being said, though, this is a great added piece if you're just trying to do the whole Starship setup here. Yeah. What's going on, Steve? I'm doing a special Star Trek mini live stream here just to talk about the TOMY Enterprise, which was announced last week. And the company, they're going to be in town, and they're going to be in Vegas for the Star Trek Creation Convention. Well, Star Trek Convention managed by Creation. So, yeah, see, that's the thing. Everything has risk. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's no, depending on how many Hot Toys exclusives, it's a rough game. It's a rough game, that guy, Mark. It's either you take the risk and you deal with the secondary resellers like me. Unfortunately, that's really what happens. It is what it is. Let's go back to, I love that bird of prey. I'm going to turn it off so that the batteries don't go die, but that's just, I love that shot. And I'll bring it back to the TOS. There it is. I'll bring it back there. I mean, come on, guys. Look at this thing. Think about this. This is the TOS diecast. This thing is what, 32? This is 32 inches in length. Look how great that looks on a stream. Imagine what the Enterprise refit is going to look like. It's incredible. I threw it on a Lazy Susan here so that I can get some nice shots with it. Yeah. So I'm very, when it comes to Star Trek, I'm very conservative. I don't like the new Star Trek. I grew up with the Berman Star Trek of the 90s, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Next Generation. I am not a huge fan of the Paramount Plus nonsense, Strange New Worlds, Discovery. I don't dig any of that shit. No, I'm fortunate. I'm not saying unfortunately. It's just for me. I prefer the classic. I prefer Kirk, Picard, Janeway, Cisco. I don't even really care for the Scott Bakula Enterprise show. Yeah, I just didn't stick around for that. But I did see Star Trek the Motion Picture in theaters. And I did see, I'm kind of aging myself, and I did see Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan in theaters. And I didn't see any of them. The rest of the classics, I didn't see it in theaters. I didn't see Star Trek 3, Voyager. I think I saw them. I saw the rest of them on VHS or on HBO during the late 80s and early 90s, where every Star Trek movie was just on either on HBO or Cinemax or something like that. So it's, but I've always loved the refit and especially the Enterprise A. It'd be nice. I mean, since they're going to invest in all this molding, that they would experiment with the Enterprise A. Enterprise A has slightly different paint scheme and certain minute features, but just to look at the photo, look at the arboretum on there. That's just incredible. That right there is it's wild. Yeah. So August 1st, the campaign's probably going to run for about 45 days. And again, it's a lot of money for these campaigns. They collect it all up front. And if you're patient and stick with all of the updates and so forth, the rewards should be very, very well, should be very, very fantastic. It should be very rewarding because these ships, I mean, they're just, once they make them, they move on. I believe the next campaign is the DeLorean. That's the one some of you may not be aware of, but yeah, on the TOMY Plus website, they do talk about their past campaigns. And the Back to the Future DeLorean, it's all die-cast. It's 1/12 scale. 1/12 scale. And I backed it. After experiencing the TOS Enterprise in my hand and seeing the quality of what was delivered, right? I can't wait for this DeLorean to arrive. I'm gonna be blown away by it. Yeah. What's going on, Martin? Hello? What's going on? Thank you for joining. This is just a Star Trek specific theming. I'm going to be talking about hot toys and bitching about hot toys during my midnight run. I may have a guest or two crash in and help me bitch, but I'll be talking about. But this stream was specifically it's all for Star Trek. And we're going to talk about the TOMY Enterprise and rub salt on the wound for those who did not back it, right? Who did not back the TOS Enterprise or the die-cast DeLorean from TOMY. Yeah. I'm with you on that, Martin. I would love to see a Star Trek 3 Bird of Prey die-cast. The HMS Bounty with the Landon struts. Oh, I foam in my mouth. I would drool to get that. I'm with you. I would love to get that. Yes, the DeLorean is closed. I only backed 2 DeLoreans because Chris and I try to poke. Chris is part of the marketing team at TOMY, and I had him on my live stream. We talked about. I helped promote the diecast DeLorean as well too, but this is the Mark I, and I told him, out of all the DeLoreans, my favorite DeLorean is going to be the Mark II. To me, the DeLorean has to fly. So I only backed 2, and I promise you that my DeLorean will be hover converted. In fact, I have spare parts left over from the Eagle Moss subscription, like a Mr. Fusion. So I'm gonna hover convert mine. Mine will be hover converted. And what was cool about this DeLorean is that not only was it extremely well lit, but the coolant exhaust shoots out fine water mist. So you put in water into the plutonium chamber, and then it'll shoot out like white smoke, which is fantastic. As far as I can tell, as a DeLorean collector as I am, this is the only DeLorean I know that's ever done that as far as a consumer grade level. So it should be really, really cool. I don't think there's much information other than it was on Kickstarter. I'm sorry, I apologize. I said 112. It is 1/10 scale. So it's going to be somewhat pretty big. Yeah. Yeah. And oh, look at that. See, speak of, oh, hold on. What did I do? Am I doing this one or? Oh, I see. I'm on a different page here. Share this tab instead. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. So anyway, I clicked on the Kickstarter tab on here. So you see it right here, Kickstarter, got the gentleman, and yeah, 112. My God, 1/10. I think this is huge. This is right slightly under Hot Toys' 1/6 scale. So this is like a 90% die-cast DeLorean, other than the wheels being rubber and everything else that should be plastic. This is going to be an extremely heavy vehicle at 1/10 scale. Little video on there tells you the pledges. Again, I'm sorry, Mark. You should have been following me, but I promoted it. I had multiple streams talking about this. Anybody that loves Back to the Future and DeLorean, I raved about it. Again, my only gripe was it's a Mark I. Ew. DeLorean should be a Mark II, right? I'd even settle for a Mark III because to me, a DeLorean should have a Mr. Fusion. I've never been a fan of the plutonium. I have all the DeLoreans, right? I have the Mark III that's from Hot Toys that's inbound at the end of the year. And so, but I think this is due. Oh, right there. It tells you right there. This is due very soon. In fact, the last update, they're way ahead of schedule. So this may show up around September or October, but you can kind of see it there. It says October 2024. It's most likely going to be either on time or a little bit sooner. So are they going to do, Chris hinted nothing. This is their first vehicle. He was adamant that they're going to test the waters with this. It depends. I mean, it was only $299, tells you how much the vehicle was. They may sell surplus. So they did have a little bit of surplus of the TOS on the TOMY website. It was like 10 or 15 units. They kept it very hush. Some individuals were aware of it and they were able to score. Because I remember some of my followers like, hey, Denobi, I scored. They had a couple of them in stock and I picked it up and so forth. So they may have a few of these die-cast DeLoreans at oh my God, 1/10 scale. That's huge. They may have a few of these in stock once they deliver. So it should be, like I said, it should be fan. And once I get it, I'll do a proper unboxing and hopefully a hover conversion because I have like I said, I have parts left over from Eagle Moss's subscription base where you can build the DeLorean. And I have the Mr. Fusion attachment. And I believe this is the exact scale to the Eagle Moss DeLorean bill from what I can recall. So I'm going to be doing a hover conversion on that. But yeah, let's go back, show this tab instead. So let's go back to, so then if you go over to the Star Trek universe, learn more, right? And they delivered this exactly how it says. They were on time, 32-inch die cast. That's the young lady you see here. Oh, hold on, I'm doing it again. It opens up a new tab and I got to show the tab. Okay, there you go. I got to remember to do that. Once I click on something, it opens up. So fully funded and moving to production, expected delivery in fall of 2023, 32-inch Star Trek Enterprise diecast. And again, TOMY provided updates. And when they realized that they couldn't promise some of the updates, one of them being like the seamless joints and some of the exposed screws, they gave some they gave some of the collectors an escape clause to pull out. So, but nonetheless, though, I mean, if you go on eBay, this thing is still going for top dollar. And this was exciting. This was exciting because it was my impression, there's the price right there, that they were going to create the series. And I lost faith. I'll be the first one to confess to you. I thought they weren't going to move forward with the series of starships. I thought once they did the DeLorean, they're like, you know what? They had some bumps with the TOS Enterprise. They're probably done with the ship. And yeah, but again, this is a live feed. This is my TOS, and it was worth the wait. I'm pulling back here so you can kind of see, but I mean, look at this. Look how gorgeous that looks. Look at that. Oh, let me focus on here. Come on, focus. There it is. Look at that. I mean, come on. So yes, to have space dock, right? To have the actual refit. Oh my God, wouldn't that be cool to have like an erector set type deal around the refit? It'd be fun. It's gonna be phenomenal. I haven't been following X06. They've just been honestly a big disappointment in my eyes. They produce one. They have like a one-hit wonder out of every 3 figures that gets released. I think they're overpriced for what they're delivering. Very mediocre, and their QC, their constant sculpt likeness, it fluctuates. It fluctuates very erratically. And so it's, for me, X06 is a vote of no confidence. I don't have any the 5 I had, I got rid of them. I purged X06 out of my collection. I didn't want anything X06 in my collection just because I thought they were just a runaway train with just bad brakes that just was bound to hit a brick wall. So Mark II. Like I said, we talked about that. But yes, anyway, this is going back to show this tab instead. But anyway, this is the TOMY Plus website. Tells you about some of their campaigns. And you know, in 2019, they actually had another campaign. Let me see if I can pop this one in. Let me see if I can show you. But they actually had what's called their Prestige selection. Check out our latest Prestige. This is one of their past projects. They had, I believe it was one of these farming equipment. that retailed for $800. Look at that. That John Deere Prestige, that was a Kickstarter back in 2019 for $800. For $800. Isn't that wild? That's just wild. Yeah. Yeah. So again, this is some of their past collections. And hopefully, like I said, when I see them in at the Star Trek convention here at the Rio, I can kind of grill Chris and the team. Hey, what's the story? What else is going on there? So for those of you joining in and watching the stream later down the road, the link to join the wait list, it's going to be on this live stream's video description. Join the wait list. That way, when the campaign goes live, you'll be email notified. And so, made for true fans, 1/350 scale replica for your collection needs on a classic piece of Star Trek history with the limited edition diecast. Yeah, so it's, if you want to stay informed, and not just Star Trek, but if you're a big Back to the Future fan, I would still recommend signing up. That way you can be notified every time TOMY Plus, that branch of their company, does a campaign like this. So if they do a Mark II DeLorean, or if they do something else, I don't know, John Deere equipment or whatever they're experimenting with, you'll be notified. That's going to be the best. So even if you're not a big Star Trek fan, like, you know what, Enterprise A is not my ship, I prefer the Enterprise D, still sign up. That way they know that there's a growing interest of collectors out there that are willing to pony up for something this grand. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't checked. Yeah, that John Deere, that retail for, I haven't even checked, I would imagine. Yeah. Yes, I do. I 100% believe. Yeah. So the marketing team, from what I can remember, they're passionate engineers. And I don't know if it's Chris or one of his buddies, but one of them is hard on the Enterprise D. So I honestly thought it would have been the Enterprise D. I said early in the stream, like, I think the Enterprise D may be the next ship, but they went with the Enterprise Refit. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. I love the Refit, and if they want to, what's the word? If they want to cash grab me, if TOMY wants to bend me over and grab more money out of me, I'm a big sucker for a repainted scheme of the Enterprise. So they decided to redo it again under Enterprise A with the proper paint application. With the Enterprise A, I'd be all for it. I would love to have the Refit here on the left, and I would love to have the Enterprise A on the right. I don't know how many fans out there would commit to that. I know I would. I would commit to both versions of Kirk's ship, of just the Refit and the Enterprise A. And you want to add a little bit of frosting, give me a Bird of Prey. Give me the HMS Bounty with landing struts. Oh my God, right? And then the campaign tier would be a whale, right? Would be like a rubber whale, a vinyl, once we hit, 5,000, 10,000 backers, let's throw in a whale. Oh, I mean, that's just, to me, that'd be icing on the cake, right? That way you can have the Bird of Prey submerged underwater or some shit. I don't know. I think it'd be fun. I eat that stuff up. So I'm going to grill the team on whether or not the saucer section separates, because the TOS, Enterprise right behind me, the saucer section does separate. And I refuse to use that plastic gimbal or to support it underneath. I like the plastic acrylic base underneath it. You see here, to me, I think it supports it right there. The acrylic plastic, yes, this is a heavy ship. It's about 20 pounds, but to me, it looks gorgeous having that clear, invisible type look. So I prefer this. So yeah, I'm with you. I would be down for an Enterprise A and the HMS Bounty Klingon Bird of Prey. Yes, but again, what would make the Klingon Bird of Prey somewhat expensive is that it has to have the landing struts. So I don't know how they would pull that off. Maybe as an attachment, maybe a separate attachment. But I know for the Diamond Select HMS Bounty, it's the one that's sells for about $300. It's a toy that was made over a decade ago. And as far as all the Diamond Select Klingon Bird of Preys, the one that collectors want is the HMS Bounty. And that's the one that it was just a limited run. So Diamond Select should reheat those print-in molds and start making Bird of Preys, because I did the math, and the Diamond Select Bird of Prey is eerily close to the 1 in 350th scale of the refit. So let me remove this one here. Yeah. I do not have the patience or the hands to do anything like that. I was just able to buy it and all done, but I know it's going to be expensive. Yeah, I mean, this is just, it's a high-end campaign piece, right? I kind of wish Hot Toys did stuff like this, where they tease us with large 1/6 scale vehicles. I wish, like, because there's so many flaky collectors out there within the toy community, I wish more toy companies did this. I wish Hot Toys did more campaigns, or not did more, they did a campaign, right? They always tease us with these lavish 1/6 scale vehicles that never seem to materialize. And I'm like, you know what? Let's, put your money where your mouth is. Collectors swear up and down that they're going to back, that they would buy it if Hot Toys makes it. And I'm like, Hot Toys, you should just do a campaign. Just do a campaign and test the waters and see who the real collectors are out there. Honestly, I've always petitioned. I've always lobbied for that. Hot Toys needs to do some sort of Kickstarter/campaign and essentially call us out. Call me out. Call out the collectors. You guys want the Naboo Starfighter? Well, all right, this is how much it's going to cost, and we need to hit this amount, and it gets backed. And then when it doesn't get backed, then Hot Toys can then point the finger at us. I'm like, oh, you collectors are flaky as shit. Now, I think this is going to, now, I don't know what the amount is, because we'll find out on August 1st when it comes to this Enterprise refit, but I suspect it's going to back very quickly, only because a lot of collectors got punished by this. Yeah, they got punished by not backing the TOS Enterprise. So the only ship I need as a saucer separation is Enterprise D. And it's going to be expensive, because I know once they do the Enterprise D, now the Enterprise D cannot be done in the 1 in 350th scale, because if they do it, it's going to be a little over 5 feet. It's going to be big as shit. Because the Enterprise refit and the Enterprise A, it's what, like a third of the size of a Galaxy class starship, and they're making the refit in 1 in 350th scale. So to do that same scale for the Enterprise D, it's going to be wild. I would do it though if they did in that scale. Wouldn't that be crazy? That would be bonkers. For those of you, like I said, remember in 2022 they sent out the survey, and they did tease which of the next ships, and they teased the Klingon D7 battlecruiser, the USS Enterprise D, the Enterprise Refit, and the Enterprise 1701 from Strange New Worlds, which I hope never gets done. That's probably the one I would never back. I don't like anything from this new Trek era that we're living through. I can't stand it. But I would definitely back that Klingon battlecruiser, and absolutely the Enterprise D. Now, they did send out another survey about which of the ships we as collectors would want, because they were really engaged with a lot of us. And I did lobby for Voyager, Intrepid class. I did. I would love to have Voyager. I know Star Trek Voyager is just not everybody's favorite, but I would love to have that ship in this diecast. And then can you imagine having the Voyager Intrepid class ship with the landing struts? Oh, that'd be wild. That'd be phenomenal. To have the Voyager ship, man, oh man, that'd be killer. I don't know if I'd be a big fan of Deep Space Nine, though. I don't know if I would want that Cardassian space station. It's okay. It has that alien design. It just doesn't have that Starfleet signature look that I really dig. I really like. Uh, and Deep Space Nine looks like it would be a volume hog. It looks like it would take up a ton of space. So, yeah. Hello, Nelson. Thank you for joining us. It'll be the best-selling replica. I think so too. I think this Enterprise refit is going to blow folks out of the water, and it's going to accelerate their lineup series. So after this one gets funded, probably I think it's going to be extremely quick. I think the next ship will be the Enterprise D. But again, if any of the TOMY reps are watching, I would love to have the HMS Bounty from Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. Yeah. Would we want the HMS Bounty tagged with the spray paint or without it? I guess you would want. I guess if you're going to do Star Trek 3's Bird of Prey, as collectors, we would expect it to be tagged with the spray paint, right? I don't know, just interesting. It's just a little thought thing. I don't know if I would want it with the markings, with the spray tag marking. I don't know. Maybe if they give us a sticker. I don't know. I just thought about that. Like I would want, like it. I think it'd be cool to have the spray painted or the paint markings of the HMS Bounty on it. But I would also just want a standalone Bird of Prey. Oh, that's a tough one. You know what? If they gave, maybe if I can scrub it out with like a dry eraser. Just a thought. This is what goes through my mind. But anyway, folks, give it. We're what, 2 weeks? About 2 weeks away from launch, and I'll do another. I'm going to do another Star Trek specific live stream on it. Hopefully, I'm going to do a standalone video from the convention floor, and then I'm going to try to get Chris and his team, maybe Chris or one of his buddies, from TOMY, and we'll discuss on live stream. And hopefully, what's cool about it is if I can get one of them again, they can help answer your questions if you're like on the fence about backing it. So, plus we can kind of grill them too, because they did promise a lot for the TOS Enterprise, and they're doing it again on this one. They're doing it again. They're promising a lot. They're like, some of the things I'm already, but again, it's not going to steer me away. It's not going to steer me away from getting it. So, die-cast build, iridescent paint. Oh, there's just so much good stuff on here. Yeah. Oh, I just can't wait. I love this. I love this shot here. The Arboretum, the die-cast build, the real working light-up features, the light-up nacelles, iridescent paint pattern to mimic the original, the motion picture studio model. So it's a 5-inch or close to a 6-inch Surak shuttlecraft with warp sled and display stand. Oh my goodness. Impulse drive, officer's lounge, hangar deck, USB power base, and spotlights not included. Here are the specs. 1 in 350 scale, dimensions 35 by 16 by 11.5, approximately 20 pounds. So it's going to weigh just as much as the TOS. Cord is not included, not a deal breaker. And, I love that they decided. So the folks that I guess had the best unboxing videos, it was clearly like Tested and a few others. But they did, they grabbed my video and they grabbed a quote out of my unboxing video on there, which I thought was it was an honor. It was kind of cool. But I got to tell you, my first impression when I lift up the styrofoam container is that it was very impressive. Just look at the detail. It is. I'm telling you, because I did kind of like a real time unboxing, and when you see it and you remove the foam and you're like, oh my God, this thing is bigger. It's glorious. It's epic. It really did blow me away. It really did. So I'm honored that they were able to. I'm able to help them because I enjoy this. This is the stuff that I live for. I love this stuff. I love collecting grand diecast products like this, Starship, and specifically, I was not able to get the Master Replicas TOS Enterprise, and I remember I really wanted the Master Replicas TOS ship, but my God, in 2006, that ship retailed for $1,100. $1,100, and then as the years went by, people started to complain about it, about the warp nacelles started to droop, and it made a lot of noise when it was activated. Like people with the Master Replicas TOS couldn't even keep it on all the time because it made too much noise. It got warm, and of course it got warm because they were using bulbs and LEDs of that era. LEDs and lighting today, it's light years from the technology that was used back in the day. So the fact that they gave us a TOS diecast ship, exact same scale as Master Replicas, for a fraction of the price, for $600, is a steal. It's just awesome. So I'm thrilled that they're gonna bless us with a Refit Enterprise. I can't wait. I can't wait to actually see the prototype that they're going to bring to the show. Other than the Sorak ship, that's the only thing I know. I will suggest, I did see on social media, people were suggesting the shuttle pod that has Kirk and Spock, where Spock carries Kirk to the when Kirk when he first sees the Refit and he docks to the port. I know people are wanting that, so I'm hoping that Chris and the marketing team are aware of that. So I'm going to suggest it. I know that I would want that. I'd want that little shuttle pod that kind of sticks on the side that brings Scotty and Kirk on board, right? Permission to come on board. So I would want that. Whether or not they're going to do tiers, other than the actual shuttle, I don't know. But again, I'm going to make suggestions on that. So I'm going to end the stream. This was just a friendly refresh reminder. Most of you are aware of it. This is just to kind of keep it in the zeitgeist, out in the atmosphere, in the zone, and it's going to be going live in a couple weeks. So yes, I would love that too. I would love a Tomy. Maybe I should suggest that. I would love a Tomy Nautilus. I second that motion. Yes, a diecast. It's been done though. There's been other companies. There's been like X Plus and a few others that have done a diecast Nautilus. But I would love Tomy to do a Nautilus, a diecast Nautilus. I would foam in the mouth. I tell you what, if you've ever owned, as a collector, if you've ever owned any type of diecast vehicle, it is a different, unique, wonderful experience. So I hope, and I'm flashing your comment on here because I want them, I'm trying to put that energy out in the universe, because I absolutely would back a Tomy 20,000 under the leagues Nautilus. Yeah, huge fan on that. All right, folks, I'm going to take a break. This was the Star Trek special live stream here. I think we talked about everything. Look at this. And launching soon. I love how beautiful this looks. And I'll be back. I'm going to take a break, rest my voice. And if you want to hear me bitch about Hot Toys and the summer showcase, join me for the midnight run. And, ooh, look at you. I would love that. Yes, I would love a diecast with interior. I just want the shuttlecraft pod, right? I want to sit on the floor like a big kid. And I want to pretend like Kirk is seeing the Refit for the very first time, and he's doing those stupid looks, right? He's doing that that Spock, it looks great, Spock. I have the Master Replicas Nautilus. Yeah. I have most of the treasured Nautilus in my collection. But yeah. Spock. Anyway, all right. My goal was 1 hour, just to throw the Tomy Enterprise Refit out into zeitgeist. I'll be back on this specific topic, hopefully from the Star Trek. But I'm also going to be doing live streams from San Diego. So next week I'll be at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to do coverage on the show, and then when I get back to Vegas, then I'll do the Star Trek specific episode for the Enterprise and check that out. So, folks, thanks for joining me.